When we have our recipe written in the app, we can always make other changes, add ingredients or remove ingredients. But let's move on to the next row. Here we have two columns. On the right, you find nutritional values. As you can see, you have the most common nutritional values. There's only one thing to pay attention to, which is carbohydrates. Since the legislation in Europe and USA is different, I put both options. In Europe, carbohydrates are not counting fibers. So the fibers will be here. In USA, on the other hand, carbohydrates also include fibers. So the values for carbohydrates total, it's the same as carbohydrates EU plus dietary fibers. Of course, these values will be correct if you put the correct values in your database. There's also something more. You have an idea of what is the energy coming from a specific nutrient. The most important usually is protein. So you can see what is the percentage of the energy coming from proteins. This is particularly useful when you need to make some special formulation. For example, you need a claim for high protein. If we move to the left side, here we have more technical parameters. So we have again total solids. Then we have milk solid non-fats, for who's interested in that. Then we have also the amount of lactose. This can be interesting or useful sometimes. An even more important parameter is the lactose saturation. This is a measure of lactose divided by water, so how much lactose there is depending on the water. This is what determines also the problem of sandiness in gelato in some circumstances. Then we have another parameter, which is stabilizer concentration in water. So if we are using a specific stabilizer that needs to be at 0.2, 0.5 in the water, here we have that parameter. Then we have what we already said above, PAC, or the freezing point depression factor. We also have the normalized PAC, which means it's the PAC divided by the percentage of water. Then we have the POD, or relative sweetness. Then we have freezing point. This is calculated with the Layton method and Layton-Goff method. And here you see these parameters are still empty. Why? Because we can set a temperature here. It's called serving temperature, but it's not really the serving temperature. For example, we can set -5, and we can see at -5 what is the ice fraction, the water fraction, and to condense everything in one value, the percentage of frozen water at -5. This, of course, is not as accurate as we would like it to be, but it's a good indication to compare different recipes. Okay, it's very important that you compare different recipes at the same temperature. Be aware that this is less accurate the lower the temperature it is. So I always suggest to make this comparison when you're about 60-70% of frozen water and not more. Then the last parameter is the estimated density. Okay, this is just an estimation of the density, and it can be useful also when you calculate the overrun.